Pure Financial Advisors have the answers to your retirement plan. This is your money, your wealth.
Hey, do you have any idea what the biggest asset you own is? On today's show, we're going to talk about how to build it and how to protect it, because this asset is going to be there for you for a very long time. It's going to produce the retirement income that you need, but most of you don't understand it. So stick around this half an hour. We're going to break through the barriers for you to get the right information and education to have a successful retirement. My name is Joe Anderson. I'm a certified financial planner, president of Pure Financial Advisors. I'm with my partner, as always, the big man, Big Al Clopine, sitting right over there. We got a great show lined up. We're going to get into Social Security. We're going to have Larry Kutlikoff, our good friend Larry Kutlikoff. He's been on our radio show a couple of times. He's going to join us here in just a second to break down some of the mistakes that you're making, some rules to live by when you claim your Social Security benefits. So that's what's on my mind today. All right, let's break this down. Social Security retirement benefits. Most of you will receive Social Security. And so when we look here, let's talk about the history a little bit of Social Security. Most of you probably have no idea, but look at this number, 64%. The single largest source of income for 64% of retirees is your Social Security benefit. If you look at the statistics right now, $10 billion are left on the table. It's maybe even a little bit more than that because you're not claiming your benefits correctly. So to help us identify some of the strategies that you want to make sure that you take a look at, let's bring in the big man right now, Big Al Clopine. Mr. Clopine, when you look at Social Security benefits, I mean, this is a huge source of retirement income for more than half of the public, and still people are not getting this right. I think they're living in the arc ages of taking it right when they can get it, and they don't understand the rules, and they're leaving hundreds of thousands potentially on the table.
Joe, when we see calculations of people when they take Social Security, some of the strategies that people are utilizing on their own versus what they could be, sometimes we see a couple $100,000 or more that you're not receiving that you should be receiving. So today's show, we're going to get into this because for many of you, this is going to be one of your largest sources of income, and the whole notion about Social Security not being around, don't worry about it. It's got trust fund assets till the 2030s, and even at that point, they are going to do some fixes. It's going to be here, but understand how to utilize it. So today, we're going to get into, first of all, who qualifies for it, and when to receive the benefits, because you have several choices, and it will affect your income for life. We're going to talk about how to claim spousal benefits. This will be brand new information for some of you. And then also survivor benefits. When the first spouse passes, the survivor can receive benefits from the other person. And then finally, we'll get into mistakes, because there's a lot of mistakes people are making, and this is a very large source of your income, so you want to get this right. And Joe, if people could just understand how to claim Social Security properly, they'd be in a lot better shape in retirement.
Right, you got that right. I think most people still claim it as soon as they can get it, and they don't really understand
Exactly.
it. But we're living a lot longer, right? So you have to consider that. There's also different strategies that you want to look at. There's the spousal benefit. There's the survivor benefit, there's file and suspend, there's all sorts of different things that you want to make sure that you look at. To help us kind of identify some of this, let's bring in our good friend, Larry Kutlikoff. Larry's been on our radio show. If you've never heard of the radio show before, you got to listen to KFMB Saturdays 10 to 12. See that plug, Al?
Yeah, very good.
So Larry Kutlikoff wrote this book, and so he breaks it down. He's one of the smartest guys I know in regards to your Social Security benefits. So let's bring on Larry. Larry, welcome so much to our program.
Pleasure to be with you.
Hey, so if we look at it this way, okay, there's mistakes that people are making, okay, and then also in your book you talk about some rules that they want to make sure that they live by when they're claiming their Social Security benefits. Can you touch on a little bit?
What you don't want to do is take your benefits immediately, because two things bad happen to you. One is that you get a permanently lower retirement benefit, and secondly, you can wipe out your other benefits that you can collect, either a widow's benefit or a spouse's benefit or a divorcee widow's benefit or a divorcee spousal benefit. They can be just wiped out by your decision to take benefits early. So you can get hurt in two ways. So we discuss in the book 3 rules for how to maximize your Social Security benefits. And one is to be patient and to take advantage of these higher benefits, the benefits that become higher the longer you wait to get them. A second rule is to understand all the benefits that you have available to you. It's more than just your retirement benefit. And the third rule is to strategize over when to take what. So to time your benefits, because if you take two benefits at once, you'll hurt yourself, because one benefit, they'll just give you the bigger of the two, so one will zap the other. So the strategy for getting more than one benefit is to take one benefit early, let the other one grow, and then start taking it.
Another question for you, Larry, is that you get your Social Security statements. Well, we don't get them in the mail anymore. You got to go online. But you look at the estimations of what people are going to receive for their Social Security benefit. But most of those are wrong. Can you touch on that a little bit to say, all right, well, if I get my Social Security statement and I look, I'm going to have $2,000. Do I take that as gospel? Or, I mean, what's your point on this?
If you're under 60, there's an assumption that up through in the future, your benefits will not be adjusted for inflation, because there will never be any inflation. So the Social Security is assuming in their calculator there'll never be any inflation. Do you know any year that we've not had any inflation? Well, I mean, it's been a couple years since 1945, but not too many. And then there's the assumption that there'll be no wage growth. And Social Security past covered earnings are indexed to wage growth. So for people that are under 60, Social Security's benefit estimators are systematically understating their benefits in most cases. In some cases, they're actually overstating the benefits, because they assume that whatever you're earning today, you're going to earn right through 65, through your full retirement age. So that could be incorrect as well.
Well, all right, so after people watch this show, all four of them, they're going to realize that, wait a minute, I might have made a mistake here. I shouldn't have claimed my benefit when I did. Or maybe I want to utilize some other strategies. So if I've already claimed my benefit, what can I do? Is there anything that I can do to unwind any of this?
Well, anyone who's under 70 and is collecting retirement benefits can fix that mistake, if we want to call it a mistake, by suspending their benefit. If they're between full retirement age and 70, they can suspend their benefit, start it up again at 70. And for every year that they have that benefit suspended, their benefit at 70 will start out 8% higher. So if, for example, if you suspend right at 66, let's say you took your benefit at 62, you're now 66, that's the current full retirement age, and you suspend, then your benefit will start up at 70 at a 32% higher level. That's 4 years times 8%, and it's adjusted for inflation. So it's 32% plus any inflation kicker is the higher check that you'll get.
Clear. I mean, why does it have to be so complicated? Larry, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. Everyone should check out his book, Get What Yours, Maximize Your Social Security Benefit. It basically gives you the roadmap to figure out exactly what you need to do to make sure that you're not making a lot of mistakes that most people do. So, Larry, I really appreciate your time. You know, Al, when you look at Social Security benefits, I mean, really, how complicated? We have to get a professor here.
I don't know.
And I'm still confused a little bit on what you should do, right?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I know it's way more complicated than it should be, but I'm actually excited about the rest of our show, because we're going to dive into this and try to make it simpler, because you really have to get these strategies right, because not doing it right can take thousands of dollars out of your pocket.
Right, so stick around. So when we get back, we're going to have Mr. Alan Klopine, this guy right next to me. He's going to draw things out. We're going to get into strategies. When are you eligible to take your benefits? When should you take it? Should you take it as soon as you can get it at 62? Should you push it out to age 70? What is the break-even point? There's a lot of different questions that you have. Stick around, because we're going to answer them when we get back. You're watching Your Money, Your Wealth.
Bring you quality financial planning and asset management, which starts with a free financial assessment.
Most of the time when you get something for free, it's not really a great deal. The reason we do the free assessment is because we live and die by the quality of our advice. The free assessment is so that people can understand the value in the services that we provide.
Call today for your free financial assessment.
Pure Financial Advisors, trustworthy by design.
Hey, welcome back to the program. Show's called Your Money, Your Wealth. Joe Anderson, Big Al Clopine hanging out with you. Talking Social Security today. Diving in. Some mistakes that you're making. We had Larry Kutlikoff just on. Thank you, Larry, for coming on the program. I know you're a busy guy. Check out his book, Get What's Yours. Maximizing Your Social Security Benefit by Larry Kutlikoff, our good friend. Hey, let's go to the true-false question. Let's see how you did here.
With married couples, the spouse with the highest Social Security benefit should start collecting benefits at the earliest age possible. And the answer to that, I would say, is absolutely false, as long as you can afford to hold off on your benefits. So here's why. It's because every year that you wait, and I'm going to get to this in just a moment, and you'll see why, but every year that you wait, your benefit's higher. You can wait all the way to age 70. And the reason you want the spouse with the highest Social Security benefit to wait is because at age 70, then you'll get that benefit for the rest of your life. And in fact, with survivor benefits, either spouse that survives will get that benefit.
Right,
so,
I mean, that's the biggest point, right, Al? Is that the person that has the largest benefit should push theirs out as long as they can, because you're protecting the other spouse. Because the one with the largest benefit, 8% increase each year, and then if you were to pass, then the surviving spouse gets the larger of the benefit. So as a rule of thumb, I mean, if you need it, take it, but the person with the larger benefit should extend. Diving into Social Security, let's kind of go basics, and then we'll get in deeper as we go here, so don't go anywhere. First question is, well, how am I eligible? Who's eligible to take Social Security? So let's start there. First of all, you have to put 40 quarters into the system, or 10 years. Okay. Or you must be married to someone for 40 quarters or 10 years. Here's a little known thing too, Al, is that your ex-spouse, if you had one, could claim your benefit, or you could claim on your ex-spouse's benefit. So a couple of things for eligibility. You need to put in the system for 10 years or 40 quarters, or be married to someone for 10 years or 40 quarters. You don't necessarily need to be married to that individual. You can still claim on that benefit for a spousal benefit. So just FYI when it comes to eligibility.
yeah, and then Joe, as far as how they calculate Social Security benefits, they take your highest 35 years, and so they average them together, and then they have this formula to determine what's called your primary insurance amount, and that's what happens at your full retirement age, which right now is age 66, although it will be 67 here shortly. And what happens is if you take it early, you're allowed to take it as early as 62, it's a reduced amount. You can take it later at age 70, and it's a much higher amount.
Yeah, when you look at this, okay, so they take a look at the 35 highest years of employment. So if you have worked only 30 years, what they do then is they fill in zeros for the other 5. So it's a calculation of 35 years. If you've only put in 10 years into the system, right, then 25 years are filled with zeros. Here's another thing too, is that they inflate it. So let's say that you worked 35 years ago and you're making $15,000 a year. But $15,000 a year 30 years ago is probably the equivalent, I don't have my calculator in front of me, I don't know what, maybe $50,000 or $60,000. So they inflate it to get your PIA, or your primary insurance amount. That's what's going to calculate your benefit. It gets a little bit complicated, but the more years that you work with those higher wage, it's going to increase your benefit. So you want to look at that as a whole. It's 35 years of total income. Then you have to look at, well, when do I claim? This is the biggest question we get. So Joe, Al, when should I claim my benefits? Well, when are you going to die? Who knows, right? If you're going to live a long time, you want to push this thing out as long as you can. If you have shorter life expectancy, take it. The earliest age you can take it is 62. Your full retirement age for most of you that are watching this program is probably 66, anywhere between 66 and 67. Then you get an extended credit of 8% per year each year that you wait. It's called a delayed credit. So if you do not take it at 62, you get an 8% increase until you reach full retirement age. So if you wait until full retirement age, right, you would get 32% increase. Or if you continue to wait from age 67 or 66, whenever your full retirement age is, to age 70, that is going to be the highest benefit. Al, why don't you show a quick example of this?
Yeah, Joe, I think this is kind of where it gets interesting. So let's take a look at this. So we're just talking full retirement age, which would be 66 for most of you. So let's go there. $1,000 might be your monthly benefit. So what happens if you take it earlier? And a lot of people do. A lot of people take it at age 62. That's the earliest age. Well, you get a 25% haircut, which means you get $750,000. You're losing $750,000.
That's a big benefit.
Dollars. Let me get this right. So you're losing $250 a month for the rest of your life. Now, if you wait till age 63, it's $800 and so on. But look at this. When you go out to age 70, it's $1,320. It's quite a bit more. Now, here's what we were talking about just a minute ago in terms of the spouse with the highest earnings. You might want to wait till the latest age, which is age 70, because you'll get this for the rest of your life. And as a matter of fact, if you pass, your spouse as a survivor benefit also gets that amount. So it's really important, because here we're looking at from $1,000 to $1,320. That's a 32% increase. On the other direction, it's a 25% discount. So it's a pretty big difference in terms of what you can actually collect.
Right. And another quick note, if you do take it at 62, if you take it early and you still have employment, if you're still working, earned income, so you have wages, self-employment, W-2 income, don't take your benefit, because every $2 earned, they're going to take $1 back. Anything after $15,000, I think $800. So if you're making more than 16 grand roughly, right, it's not going to make any sense to take it early. I always want to push that thing out. But Al, here's another thing that we always talk about is that people are living a lot longer, right? So maybe extending it might be the best way to go, because you have to have that benefit for a lot longer time period than ever before. Well,
that's exactly right. So check this out. This is a man and a woman and where they might live. This is a healthy 65-year-old. So for a male, 40% chance of living to age 85, female 53% chance of living to 85, but what about 90? 20% for a male and 31% for a female. And when you combine a husband and wife together, the life expectancy, there's a 50% chance that one of you is going to make it to age 92. So you really have to plan for this benefit for quite a long time.
Yeah, I mean, if you extend, you're going to have that money. No one's ever complained by extending their benefit. Then people look at, well, hey, if I take it early, I get my benefit right away. But there's a break even. Al, let's illustrate exactly what that break even looks like. If you take it at 62, you take it at full retirement age or age 70, the difference of benefit that you will receive, it's huge.
Yeah, it is. So take a look at this. Now, this is kind of a break even analysis, taking at age 62 versus 66 versus age 70. And you can see the break even is somewhere around late 70s, early 80s. And here's an actual dollar figure at various ages. So if you make it age 90, $504,000 is what you get when you claim it at 62. $633,000 is what you get if you wait till age 70. So it's a lot more, and we're living a lot longer. And this is really one of the few things that you have that's going to be protected regardless of how long you live, because you will get this benefit for as long as you live. And here it is numerically. So if retirement age, 62 versus 66, the break-even point is 78 years of age and a few months. From 62 to 70, it's 81 years. 66 to 70, it's 83 years. What this is saying is, by comparing different dates on when you can actually take the benefit, that's when your break-even point is. So typically it's late 70s to early 80s. Now clearly, if there's health issues, you may not want to wait. You may want to take it early. Or if you need the money, you might want to take it early as well. But if you don't need the money and you're in reasonably good health, you want to wait as long as you can.
Hey, stick around. We got to take a break, but when we get back, we're going to get into some different claiming strategies. So we laid the table here. Depending, of course, on your life expectancy is going to be the best way to claim, but no one knows that, right? So you have to plan for the unexpected, and you want to make sure that you have the most amount of benefit possible given normal life expectancies. When we get back, Al's going to point out a couple of different claiming strategies. Have you ever heard of file and suspend? What the heck is that? Stick around and we'll tell you exactly what it is. You're watching Your Money, Your Wealth. Don't go anywhere. Hey, welcome back to the show. The show's called Your Money, Your Wealth. Joe Anderson, Big Al Clopine, talking Social Security today, trying to figure out the maze of this Social Security web to try to get you the best information possible so you can maximize your benefits, because it's important. 63%, Al. It's the largest income source that most people have, and still a lot of you are making mistakes. Let's go to the true-false question.
At age 63, if I claim Social Security benefits and I'm still working, my monthly benefit may be reduced. And the answer to that is true, absolutely true. And Joe, you mentioned this last segment, right? So if you make about $16,000 or more, your benefit is going to be reduced. So for those of you that are still working, don't even try to claim your Social Security benefit at age 62. Now, if you wait till full retirement age at age 66, it doesn't matter if you're working. You can still receive a full benefit. But remember, as we talked about last segment, you may want to wait till age 70 because the benefit's a lot higher.
Let's get into a couple of different strategies. This gets a little complex, so we'll try to go a little bit slow to try to understand everything that you need to do. There's a concept called file and suspend, Al. And I think a lot of people might have heard of this, they might understand it, or they might not understand it, but why don't we break it down for our viewers to say, all right, does this strategy make sense for them?
Yeah, it really is an important one. I think, first of all, we have to talk about what is a spousal benefit. So here it is. One spouse can claim benefits from the other spouse, Social Security. So you must be age 62 or older to qualify for this spousal benefit. And the other spouse must first file for Social Security benefits. And what the spousal benefit is 1/2 of your spouse's primary insurance amount as long as it's claimed at full retirement age. But the whole concept of file and suspend is huge. So let's kind of get into that. I got an example here in a minute, but
yeah, when you look at the spousal benefit, it's half of the other spouses. So you can take yours or you can take half of your spouse's. But however, you can still take half of your spouse's and let yours grow.
Yeah.
And that could add, I mean, if you want another $50,000 of your Social Security benefit, stick around for the next 1 minute and Al will show you how to put 50 grand in your pocket.
Yeah, check this one out. So here's Tom and Janice, an example. Okay, so Tom is age 67, Janice is 66, and their benefits at age 66, let's say Tom would receive $2,000 and Janice $900. Now, they don't necessarily need this right now. Maybe they're both still working or one is still working, and so they're both planning on waiting till age 70. Not a bad idea. So Tom's benefit goes up to over $2,600, and Janice's benefit is almost $1,200. But here's the thing that could be missed, and a lot of people miss this. Tom should file and suspend. So that means he goes down and files to receive benefits, but he suspends his benefits, doesn't take them currently. And Janice claims the spousal benefit, which means that she can receive half of Tom's benefit at that age. That's $1,000 per month. For 48 months, that's $48,000 of free money. Now, at age 70, they both claim their existing benefit that they would have gotten, right? But they got $48,000 of extra income. It's gigantic.
Right, and they also increase their benefit by 8% per year, each year that they held out their overall benefit. So they're claiming, file and suspending, so you have to at least file with the Social Security Administration, but then you suspend your benefits. Why do you do that? So your benefit will continue to increase. Now, here's another cool thing with file and suspend. Is that a lot of times, you know, when you do this strategy, you're anticipating longer life, right? If you file and suspend, and let's say that you're 69 years old or 68 years old and you find out you have terminal cancer, what you can do is go back to the Social Security Administration and say, you know what, I want to get paid because I did file at 66. They'll pay you a lump sum of all the monies that they should have paid you from 66 to 68 or 69. You get a lump sum right there, so you're protecting yourself just in case something happens to you. I know we threw a lot at you. You can always go to our website at purefinancial.com to get a lot more information. Stick around with us next week because there's a lot of assumptions that you guys make when it comes to your overall retirement plans, and you have to throw most of these assumptions out the window. We're going to break the myths to help you retire successfully. For Big Al Clopine, I'm Joe Anderson. You just watched another episode of Your Money, and it's Your Wealth. Have a great weekend.